it's not the greatest defense.
No, I mean, obviously Bosa's missed. There's no doubt about that. But that is not enough of an excuse to play like the shit you've been playing like. Like, anybody could throw on them. Anyone.
It's not just Maryland. Minnesota played them tough. Indiana played them tough.
They are lucky that Haskins is as good as he is. Lucky. Because if it wasn't for Haskins being that good, you would at least be a 3-loss team this year.
If it wasn't for Haskins, Penn State would have beat Ohio State.
They would have been a 3-loss team this year.
Yeah.
Maybe even 4 after this Maryland one. 4-loss team if Haskins didn't play. Now, that's not to say that I'm not impressed with the kid below him. I am looking forward to him. But the freshman... I shouldn't be contemplating as an Ohio State fan that the freshman quarterback should be playing. That is not something that I need to deal with.
Who's the freshman quarterback?
Tate Martell.
He's a freshman?
Yeah.
I thought he was a freshman last year.
He was
redshirt. Okay, right.
So he's technically a freshman.
Yes.
That being said, I shouldn't be thinking about this. At a certain level of the hierarchy in college football, you shouldn't be thinking about your freshman quarterback possibly being better and being a more improvement on the team. Now, I get it. Haskins is a running quarterback. I'm not going to knock somebody for not having an ability they don't have. But you are lucky he has the arm and the awareness and the accuracy to put the ball where he's doing it, or you guys would be fucked and it would be embarrassing.
On the other hand, if Ohio State had receivers who knew how to catch, I mean, they'd be Alabama level right now.
Yes, true, but there are wide receivers that are catching some pretty good balls now. That being said, Ohio State is not a team where you want to get into a shootout because you don't want the liability to be there. The defense should be better than this, and you need to fucking prove it because if you show up and play even 2 times better than that defense played last week, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's not acceptable this week. Because, again, I don't care. I will gladly miss a college football playoff. I will gladly lose every fucking game. You don't lose this week. You don't.
Nope. If you win only one game a season,
it's this
better
game.
Be your rival.
This game. I don't give a shit if it's another rival from us.
No,
I don't care if it's
your
Penn
rival.
State. Yeah, but you win this game. You win this game. This is what keeps coaches employed. This is what keeps the boosters paying. It's this game. And fuck Harbaugh. Khaki-wearing motherfucker.
Listen, there are rivalries, and I get Penn State-Ohio State is shaping up to be a good rivalry. A great rivalry. And in fact, in recent has been the best rivalry in all of sports, I'm going to argue. All right. But Penn State's big rival, quote-unquote big rival, is Michigan State. I don't know why, but it's the rival. It's the trophy game for the Land-Grant Trophy. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin, it's Minnesota. If you have to win a game, you beat Minnesota. Florida State. Cal, Stanford. There's just these rivalry games that if you only win one game, you want it to be that game. I guarantee Florida State, if you told them they were going to go 9-3, but one of those losses was to Florida, or they'll go 1-11, and the only win was against Florida, they would take that 1-11 beating Florida.
Yeah, you're right. And this is rivalry week. This is, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the backyard brawl, the whatever you want to call your named rivalry. It is what it is. This is this week. And I have just been overwhelmingly disgusted with Ohio State the last couple of weeks, and unfortunately I haven't been here to talk about it. But this is no fucking time. And I don't know, maybe anyone at Ohio State hears this and will fucking tell them.
Maybe. Although
I doubt it, I hope it does happen. I hope Urban Meyers plays a fucking message tomorrow before he's like, before you guys go and eat Thanksgiving dinner, here, listen to this. This is what your fans think of you, so stop playing like dog shit.
I just want to reiterate that...
we're going to kill him. If he keeps doing this, we'll kill him on the field. Did you see him at all during Saturday's game?
He did not look happy.
He was leaning over like he was about to have an aneurysm. I thought he was going to pass out on the side of the field. I was like, we're going to give him another fucking heart attack.
Yeah, like for real, or...
No, like he's
going to fake a heart attack.
A hemorrhage is going to blow in his brain.
All right.
He's going to drop if you keep playing like this.
I just want to reiterate exactly what Tony is talking about. The reason Ohio State won is because the Maryland quarterback, the moment was too big for him, and he messed up the most basic throw in college football.
Ohio State was gifted that.
It was 4 yards, open receiver.
That being said,
I could have thrown that.
That being
8
said,
out of 10 times.
I do want to say, with that game, I respect it.
Oh, of course.
I respect going for the
You
two.
have nothing to lose.
No, you're about to upset a top 10 team in the country. You need one more game to become bowl eligible. You do that every time. Not to mention, you're an intern coach. You don't know if you're coming back.
Yeah.
So, risk it to get the biscuit there all day long.
And you're playing Penn State next week. Not likely to win. You have an opportunity. And do you know who the interim coach is for Maryland?
I don't.
It's Matt Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I did enjoy hearing his name. It's a great name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the assistant offensive coordinator under Ed Orgeron at LSU. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, Les Miles back in college football.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Bold move by Kansas, and I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. If Kansas wants to be taken seriously as a college football team, you might as well get somebody in here to see if they can help you out with doing that. Because a lot of basketball schools are trying to become football schools now. You see it happening in Kentucky. You see it happening in Duke. They know you got to play both sides of the fence. You can't be just good at one.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and we also see a lot of football schools that are merging as basketball schools. Ohio State has been growing recently. Wisconsin has been growing. Michigan's always had that decent balance, but they can go fuck themselves.
Michigan.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Michigan.
I don't know. They live up north. They live in. I don't know. They live in a city that shares. They live in a state that shares land with fucking Detroit.
Yeah. So
and we already talked about how depressing that is.
That's a drag.
Seriously.
Yeah.
They filed for bankruptcy. How does this city file for bankruptcy?
Plus, don't forget about Flint. Still doesn't have water.
Yeah, what the hell is going on?
Governor Snyder doesn't want them to have water.
They were like, you know what? At this point, we're not going to fix it, so just move.
Think about it. We're going to stay away from politics.
Yeah, let's get off of that one. You and I can have this conversation in a sub-conference chat.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyways, so it's just Ohio State, they really need to win this week because I cannot tolerate Michigan fans and the shit that they're going to spew if their team goes to the fucking playoff. It's going to piss me off. Plus, I mean, at this point, Harbaugh's never beat Ohio State, so let's fucking go. Let's keep that the same. I'm hoping for the craziest craziness that can happen. All right, I want USC to beat Notre Dame. I want Washington to beat Washington State. All right, I want Clemson to lose the next 2 games. All right, I want Ohio State to beat Michigan, and then Northwestern beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Alabama's going to destroy Georgia anyways. I want West Virginia to beat Oklahoma, because what's going to happen? That means Central Florida gets in. All of that needs to happen for an undefeated team to get into the playoff. How fucking ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? And did you happen to watch any of that game Saturday night? The Central Florida game?
Mm-hmm. Parts of it, yeah.
They beat the shit out of Cincinnati. All right? And even, what's his name? Kirk Herbstreit said that he's been down on them all year, but after watching them, their offense can play with anybody, even Alabama. He's just concerned that their defense can't.
I mean, that's not an unfair argument right now. Mackenzie Milton's really good.
So fucking good. And if I still believe he's gonna declare for the draft. But if he comes back to Central Florida, fuck, they're gonna go undefeated 3 years in a row and still won't make a playoff.
I see, but what I do love about it, like I've said before, and I'll continue to say it, what I do love about this is the fact that this makes the argument better for expanding this. It shows that it really should be.
Because I know they're going to, if they make the playoff, which is very unlikely to happen, they're going to get the 4 seed and they're going to get Alabama. But what if they beat Alabama in the playoff? Whether they win the championship or not. What if they get in the playoff and they beat a team and get to the national championship game?
Crazy.
You have to expand the playoff to at least 8 teams. At least. You saw the bracket for if there were 16 teams, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't agree with the 16-team one personally.
How insane would that be?
It really would be. And I mean, it doesn't remove an argument. I mean, maybe 16 is the most you could do. There's no way you could go any more than that. That being said, it does open the door for some interesting situations, like that year Boise State was so good. USC this year and last year. Okay, yeah. You know what? Maybe you didn't play anybody. But you know what?
You get to know.
Let's find out who you really are. Let's give it a shot. If you are who you say you are and who you believe you are, show it on the field. If you do, shut everyone up. Go for it. Do I think it would be hard for you to run off 4 straight games against the nation's best?
It would be hard for Alabama.
Huh?
It would be hard for Alabama. It'd be hard for anybody.
Right, but that also adds excitement to it. And that adds an unpredictability of the national championship. Well, right now, this still doesn't change. Here's my problem. The college football playoff is a great idea, okay? The problem I have with it more than anything is it didn't change anything with college football. Like when we had the BCS trying to figure it out, you still were looking, it was almost the mindset, you have to go undefeated or you're not going to make it.
At the very least, you have to win your conference.
You have to win your conference and you can only afford 1 loss. And if you do that, if you have the 1 loss, you better win your conference championship. Like, that is what it's come down to. Like, it allows the opportunity that you could have 1 loss and still get in. But that's not good enough for me. I don't want...
Cantor just hit a 3. Enos Cantor just hit a 3-point basket.
A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. But I want more unpredictability in college football. It is one of the things that makes college basketball and the tournament so entertaining.
I was just about to say... Who were the Final 4 last year? Michigan, Villanova. Oh, fuck. Who else was it? Regardless of who the 3rd team is, the 4th one was Loyola Chicago. All right. Who thought Loyola Chicago was going to get past the 2nd round? Nobody. Remember, Butler. Yes, Butler went to back-to-back national championships and was an inch away from beating Duke to be national champions. All right? And it's just, there are teams that are in the group of 5 that if they go undefeated will get the recognition. Boise State would be one of them. Technically not necessarily group of 5, but Notre Dame as an independent. BYU has a good enough history that if they go undefeated, they would be a playoff contender. I mean, you got to look at other teams that used to be in the Big East: UConn, South Florida, Cincinnati. They've all played in a BCS bowl game. Mm-hmm. They've all got a history. And now Cincinnati got smacked by Florida.
But UConn got smacked by them as well.
UConn beat West Virginia beat Oregon, was it?
Maybe.
Someone.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's a good argument. And again, I think it just adds more to the sport than you lose by doing it. Yeah. Well, you're worried about losing the bowl game? Fuck you.
You still have the bowl game designations.
Right, but I don't need these other bowls because who gives a shit? Give them the trophy for that game that they won at that bowl. You can still have the bowl game. They can have that trophy for that game. But, no one gives a shit who won the Boca Raton Bowl last year. No one cares.
It was Florida Atlantic.
Fuck you. You would know that. But no one
cares. Well, it's because of the Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. That's the only reason I remember. Because it's in Boca Raton where fucking FAU plays.
Okay.
But
Who
no,
won the Las Vegas Bowl last year?
Wake Forest.
I don't know. I really have no way. I'm not